going on there, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's our weekly live stream where we talk about news, culture, current events, and of course our movie review. With me as ever is the homeboy Rob.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, I know we missed last week. I hope you didn't miss us too much.
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, as per usual, it's always Rob's fault.
It's always my fault.
Yeah, but it seems like so long ago. But yeah, it's like the week prior was our birthday stream, and that was a lot of fun. Just kind of horsing around, just talking about the things that interest us, and we didn't go into topics or news stuff. But but since our birthday's passed and it's a whole new week, we're going to get back into the swing of things. But before that, let me just catch up with Rob real fast since it's been a week. So Rob, what's new?
Well, it's been a little interesting. I been having to drive my wife around. She is without her car, so that's part of the reason why I ended up having to be out last week. So trying to get her car fixed, all that, it's been a pain in the ass. Other than that, she's starting up her massage business. So she finished up all her massage therapy schooling. She's getting started with that. She's got a client already. So hopefully that will kind of snowball into some more clients. She's definitely got the talent. I get massages from her all the time, and it works. Seriously, it works miracles. Especially with my job, I'm always constantly working on, my muscles are always getting kind of sore and worn out. I got a promotion. It takes effect this Saturday, so that's pretty awesome. So had that happen.
Really quickly, what are you being promoted to?
So I'm essentially gonna be the kind of like the manager of all the morning people. So I'm the leader of all the morning crew for the clerk side.
Is it kind of like a shift leader?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So that's I wasn't expecting to get that when I applied for it, but it's a little weird because I'm younger than most of the people that I'm leading. So that'll be a little awkward. But honestly, for me, as long as everyone knows how to do their job, it's just kind of like, hey, just do your job, guys. That's all I have to do, and everything will work out great. So yeah, pretty excited for that. I had a film faux pas because I've been desperately trying to get my wife to watch Psycho, which is I think is one of the greatest movies of all time. But she is so opposed to black and white films, even if it's a brand new film. If she would not, I don't think she would watch Schindler's List, even though she loves Liam Neeson. She didn't really like Lady Vengeance because the good portion of the end is in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
She really hated the movie.
Wait, did she see Kill Bill? Because the fight in the
like Kill Bill, it's too gory for her.
I see. Yeah, I think was it Quentin Tarantino? He shifted it to black and white because of the censors.
For the rating. Yeah.
The rating.
And to be honest, it's beautiful. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, it's because in a weird way, it harkened back to those old samurai movies.
Yeah, the Sword of Doom and Zatoichi, the Tale of Zatoichi, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Seven Samurai.
Yeah, so I know I know he only did it for a more practical reason, not necessarily artistic one, but it ended up being pretty artistic.
But knowing that there is a remake of Psycho that is a near shot-for-shot remake in color,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe I can get her to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat through it again, and I hated myself. And it's not even that, like, it's not that they did a bad job. It's not like
Right.
the
Technically
exact
speaking, it was competently remade.
Yeah, it was very competent. The acting was good. It was shot well, uh, but it doesn't have the same spirit. I don't think that it was done as a cash grab. I do think it was done out of love, but it just Psycho is just one of those films you just don't touch it, and they
Right.
did, and it just and at the end of the day, she ended up not liking the movie. She's like, it's okay. It's like a 6 out of 10. And I'm like, ugh.
If you could only get her over that silly prejudice for black and white films.
It's so much better in black and white. And
I'd agree.
But
And what
whatever.
is it? And Janet Leigh is is way sexier than Anne Heche.
Clearly, yeah. And that's why I was trying to, like, I think the other thing that she doesn't understand either is that you don't understand how big of a deal this movie was, with like all the stuff, like where if you came late to this movie, you were not allowed in. And the draw of the film was Janet Leigh. Oh, we're gonna go see Janet Leigh. Like, she was the big draw, and it was, people were shocked. I mean, like, they literally shocked as, like, she's dead in the first 30 minutes. Well, what are we gonna do? Like, the movie's over, right?
Alert.
Yeah. And then that's the reason why you couldn't come late to the movie, because the Hitchcock actually wouldn't even let, I think, like, with allowing, like, kind of like the film critics and stuff, like, they had like there was some sort of legal thing. He had, like, no, you
Right.
can't.
Yeah. I think like one of those first review embargoes.
Yeah, which is, usually when you have a review embargo, it's going to be a garbage heap of a movie. But in this case, it was for a purpose. It was for the right purpose.
Right. Yeah. He was like he was trying to save the surprise of the movie for as long as possible.
And he was right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, yeah, like could you imagine like a director today who tried to have that happen?
There's no fucking way that's gonna.
I mean,
happen.
Yeah, like a studio could. I mean, I know Disney and like Warner Brothers, they're constantly review embargoing their stuff.
Yeah, because
especially recently. But
good shit. That's why.
Yeah, because it's like it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not because it's good shit. It's horseshit.
Like, if someone like, I mean, I don't know, there's no one really like Hitchcock today, but if a established director who has a good track record, like, let's say like Tarantino did something like this, I'd be like, okay, this movie's probably going to be pretty damn good, and the reason that he's wanting this is because we're going to see some wild shit, and he doesn't want that to get out.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really do. Tarantino doesn't really do bad work. He sometimes does mediocre work, but I'd be hard pressed to say that he does bad work.
I don't think honestly, I've watched all of his films, and I don't think any of them are. Yeah, like, there might be some that are like, it was okay. Exactly. It's not like I'm gonna go back to it a whole bunch of times, but most of them are like, damn, this is fucking great.
No, yeah, precisely. So yeah, it's again, I'm hard pressed to say that any one of Tarantino's movies full on sucked.
Yeah, so he has a good track record. So if he did something like that, I'd be like, oh, we're in for some wild stuff. If he's doing a review embargo. And so that would get me excited. But if like, oh, Warner Brothers, the new Marvel film review embargo, it's like, oh god, this is gonna be a fucking. They know it's gonna be a shitstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm probably not gonna go watch that because it's gonna be garbage.
Yeah.
Like if they did that with like Thor: Love and Thunder, I'd be like, oh well, that I probably would have never watched it at that point.
Yeah. I mean, of the post Endgame movies, or I should really say, all the stage 4, phase 4 movies,
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever slightly piques my interest.
You think so that you saw that and you were kind of like you were kind of interested to see what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, I'm more interested in how they're gonna do Namor, because Namor's a mutant, and if
Oh, you're right.
yeah, Namor's a mutant. So if they're bringing in Namor, then how are they going to how are they going to work in the fact that he is a mutant?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, yeah. Now you piqued my interest. Because I was gonna be like, oh man, it's gonna be so weird without Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were gonna make like M'Baku like the Black Panther or something like, because I think he would be a good one.
Who?
But yeah, it's gonna. I was like, and I thought it was really a little tasteless that they had Chadwick Boseman's, his Twitter page talking about the film. It's like, dude, don't do that. I'm sorry. That's just really cold. It's morbid. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very tacky. It's very tacky.
Yeah. But yeah,
to use a dead guy's Twitter account. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I thought that was really tasteless on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I watched, like I said, I watched the '98 remake of Psycho, trying to get my wife into hopefully that she would like the film. She didn't. What else? Oh, but I did. I was actually really surprised. I took a chance. I was like, you know what? You might like 24, the show with Kiefer Sutherland. It's been over for a while.
Yeah.
And she after the first episode, she's like, that was a fucking roller coaster ride. That's awesome. Let's keep watching. so I was like, okay. And I think I got her into potentially wanting to watch Heat, Goodfellas, and The Godfather. So I'm working on her to get some of these good films into her repertoire.
You might want to hold off on Godfather, because that movie's a lot of talking.
That's because I told her, it's like, mainly all you have to know about is that you have the Corleone crime family, and there's 3 brothers, and then there's the Godfather, and there's a lot of people there's people that work for them, and there is a betrayal, and kind of like it's a power struggle. Essentially the movie is a power struggle. And she's like, okay, that actually sounds kind of interesting. I showed her the trailer. She liked the trailer. I showed her the 50th anniversary trailer, because that way it kind of, it's in nice, 4K and all that stuff. And I have the Blu-ray of it. So I was like, oh, and she's like, and I didn't tell her what year it came out in. And she's like, okay, that looks kind of interesting. I would be interested in watching that. It's like, so potentially she might watch The Godfather. Okay. But I figured that if we're going to start with something, I would say let's go with Goodfellas, because that is a little bit more action-packed.
Yeah. I mean, although it might be a little too gory for her.
It's weird, because she doesn't like gore, but at the same time, I think she's intrigued by it. It's not as gratuitous as
I know your wife is so hard to pin down.
It's a moving goalpost. I never know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And it would make things easier for these movie reviews. I almost had to do them in secret. I had to hold myself out somewhere and just watch all the stuff that we're gonna be reviewing, and because most of the time she's not gonna want to watch it.
Right. Yeah, it's like
It's
it's like a little kid who's like with the with the book and the flashlight underneath the covers after mom tucks them in. But it's like, but for
yeah.
you, it's you and an iPad.
Seriously, that's where I'm at right now. It's kind of like hell. Even like playing games right now has been kind of like a pain in the ass because every 5 seconds, like it's like, oh yeah, go ahead, go do your thing, and then every five, you're like, oh, it's like, okay, are you gonna give me my time or no? It's like I can't. If you're gonna interrupt me every
Your
5,
your wife reminds me of that meme of, and I'm sure I brought this up before, but it's so hilarious to me. But it's like the meme of the cat where it's like pet me, and then it's like it ducks down, it's like but with your eyes.
yeah, it's just like,
She says one thing, but like she really wants another.
been driving me crazy. I'll just say that. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Just kind of just laying low,
Mhm.
working, spending time with my wife because she has no friends out here.
Well, I mean, she does, but all her friends like me better. So
Can't help that. I'm
I know I
sorry.
can't help it. I can't help that I'm such a lovable person.
They don't like me. They don't like me. It's like, honey, they do like you. Just
Just not as
you
much
gotta
as Andy.
it's like you just gotta relax. Like, don't be so uptight about everything. It's fine.
Mhm.
But what can you do?
What can you do? I think a sock and I think of a sock and an orange. That's just me.
Yeah, but what's been up with you?
Um, Not a whole lot. Um, I actually been doing a lot of fishing recently.
Yeah, you've been like fishing at least like it seems like several times throughout the summer. Like,
Yeah. Well, no, I mean just recently, like.
oh, real? Okay.
Yeah, I mean for like on our birthdays, actually, a friend of mine took me fishing for my birthday.
Yeah,
Um,
you told me that.
yeah, and then like a week or like 2 weeks ago on a Friday, I went fishing. Just randomly. Yeah, so just been doing a lot of fishing, with friends, because usually I'm off, kind of like chaperoning my dad off on like one of his camping fishing trips, but yeah, just more yeah, it's been able to go and like fish with friends, which has been nice. I really enjoyed it. I just came back from retreat, really good, really convicting stuff.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, we've been I know we my wife and I we've been going through Joshua recently, just kind of here at home, just kind of like our own quiet times together, and
mm,
that's actually been really pretty fruitful so far. One, she's finding that actually not just throwing tantrums or whatever she usually does, but no, she's actually like we've usually it's I was like, okay, well, fine. If you're just gonna not listen to like what I had to say about the thing, like you're saying you don't know about the Bible, I'm trying to teach you, and then you're like telling me I don't know anything. It's like, well, that's not gonna be very fruitful.
yeah, it's like
So,
to,
but
to
now,
the to the man who literally went to seminary.
yeah, but now it's gotten to the point where it's like now she actually is listening to what I have to say about it because she's like, okay, I need to learn, and I was like, okay, we'll do a historical narrative uh
Mm,
book, which is a little bit easier. And I know those the best out of all of them. Like I've really studied a lot of like the all the historical narrative books in the Bible. I mean, I know I've read them all. I've studied them all. But like those ones I know almost like the back of my hand
mm,
at this point. But yeah, it's been actually a really fruitful exercise.
cool.
Yeah, we're getting into the Fall of Jericho next.
Yeah. Then also, just keep volunteering at my church every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Yeah, I volunteered my Saturdays away. It's it's funny.
Oh man, I remember many a Saturdays that I volunteered.
Because I do the homeless ministry with my group, and then the every other Saturday, I help out um, our KM, which is basically like kind of like the Korean language ministry, but it's made up mostly of people my parents' age.
Yeah.
Or my parents' generation, and so like I'm there, lending a helping hand. Um, so yeah, I volunteered my Saturdays away, so I have no Saturday, I have no time off on Saturdays anymore. But I'm not complaining. I'm just I'm remarking on a very humorous incident.
It's kind of, you're like, wow, I'm doing that. It's
Yeah,
more.
no,
It's not
well, it's like
like you're
I
not.
guess I'm doing it. It's more
It's like,
like it's not like I'm doing this. It's like, well, I guess I'm doing it.
yeah. Oh yeah, I spent many Saturdays doing the same thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some of the topics for discussion today. Um, you know what? Why don't we go into the proposition stuff first?
Okay, sounds like a plan to me. The so something uh, right now is especially at my work, political season is in full fervor. If you're you've been listening to us, you know that we're coming up on our election is November 8th, but we're getting so much, like all the advertisements are coming through our work, and trust me, it's a huge pain in the ass. It's there is so much of it. I mean, I see when I see it, it's like, okay, hey, we're getting paid. They're paying us a pretty hefty price for that. Fine by me. Uh, but something, well, as I'm handing out some of this mail for because we have, like, people have PO boxes, right? So after we're done sorting all the packages, we're passing out the mail for the PO boxes, the post office boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And something just dawned on me. I don't know why I didn't never thought about this before, and especially because we've talked about, like, when it comes to a lot of political stuff, follow the money. That's how you're going to find out, who why certain things are happening, where these people are coming from, why they're going after certain ideas. It's usually because money, 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 money. And this wouldn't necessarily work fully. You'll have to do a little bit more research when it comes to the actual candidates themselves. But I know that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to the propositions. Vote no on this. Vote yes on this. Vote no on that. And it's like, what the wait, if I and you're like, you almost, you're in your head, it's like that meme of the guy that's like, that's doing all, like, the math, seeing all the math in front of them, or it's like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, and you're like having to connect all the freaking dots on shit. And it's
Or
like,
you're Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
yeah,
Pepe
exactly.
Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah. It's like, well, if I vote no on this, that means it's going to do this and that. Wait a second, and it's all backwards.
Right.
But when I
Yeah, I
thought,
mean,
when I
famously here in California, there was a gasoline tax, and if you voted no on it, you were actually voting in favor of it.
it raised it to like 9.5%, like on top of the actual, that's on top of the tax itself that's already,
Right.
like, in
That's already
place.
on. Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, and that's because well, most Democrats, but definitely most of the ones in power here in California, is because they themselves have invested in solar and wind. So there, of course, it behooves them to support that and to make legislation against, petroleum.
Right.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
No. Yeah.
tired.
Yeah. It was actually pretty astounding because like 4 months ago or something, I ran into an acquaintance, and we were just kind of talking, and I think it was at the time there was um, what was it? Like, either wildfires or like blackouts.
Yeah,
And she was like, she kind of wondered out loud to her, she kind of wondered out loud. It's like, oh, I wonder what's going on, or it's like, why are we having like infrastructure problems, and I laid it out to her. It's like, oh, well, actually, it's because, we the money that the government was supposed to give out to like the utilities to upgrade the infrastructure, they took that and they put it into subsidies for solar stuff. So like, like all those ads you see, like, oh, get solar, and and have the electric company pay you back. It's because of that, because they were giving people kickbacks for installing solar panels on their houses, and so like with that money diverted, they're not able to to update the infrastructure, and so you have high winds, and then boom, like it knocks down the power lines, and then it lands in the forest, and then and with the forest, it's because no one is clearing out the underbrush, and so we just let it grow and grow and grow, and like it basically becomes a giant tinderbox, and then as soon as that power line hits that that forest floor, boom, instant combustion. And then you saw like this like light bulb moment going off in her face. She's like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. I was like, doesn't it though?
I see. That's the thing. I love that. I love those
Yeah,
moments.
right. Me too. It was just yeah, she's like, because like she was like following my line of logic. It's like, oh, they did this, so they didn't do that, and because they didn't do that, this happened, and it's like, bing, like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah, but yeah. So always follow the money. But when it came to like the propositions, I was like, it's almost like a chess match. Like you never like if I vote no on this, that means it's gonna happen. If I vote yes on this, it means it's not gonna happen. And like so, it is kind of confusing. But when I was passing out these advertisements for the propositions, it dawned on me they're they legally have to provide who is endorsing it, who is
Right. Yeah. They
funding
have
the.
to. They have to disclose. Who's paying for this advertisement.
So usually, like, so why I said like with the candidates, it doesn't quite work because usually the candidate is endorsing themselves.
Right.
I'm Joe Biden,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
I approve.
they might be getting money from somebody else, but like it becomes
So you have to.
their money, and so therefore they can say, oh, like I approve this message, or this ad was paid for by me. It's like, but this lobbying
Right.
group gave me the money.
Right. So like I said, in that case, you have to do a little more research. But with the propositions, it's usually some sort of you know uh
Right.
uh
It's an interest group. It's an interest group.
it's an interest group. Yeah, it's a political interest group, and then
Or
they're
even just like straight up like or even straight up just a company. I mean, just really, I mean, not to step on your moment, but like recently with like the whole ads about like online gaming, or whatever. Like I think
right.
the ones in favor of a yes on 26, like that those political ads are funded by like FanDuel and all those other like online sports betting websites.
So of course, and here's and this isn't this is for message to everybody. I don't really care where you line up on the political aisle in this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just to help like clear out. It's kind of to clear out the underbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you line up on the political spectrum, you know when you when you look at this stuff, so it's not you're just like, well, I think if I vote no, that's what I want. You're not doing it's not a guessing game. Now you have something else to look at. Forget what they're saying on the advertisement. Forget what's on the TV. Who is paying for it? And if you don't agree
Well,
with the people,
well, I guess in that case, don't discard what you see on TV, but look very closely at the end where it says, like, where it has, like, on the lower third, it has, like, all of those, names or whatever. It's like, look at that, and that's where you'll find, like, who's paying for it.
I mean, I think they do have to, with the propositions, they do have them like somewhere, like where you're able to read up on them, right? Like the actual full proposition as like what exactly it entails. I mean, I know that's a real pain in the ass, but they have to provide that information.
Right, absolutely. Because then then you could trigger a recount or whatever, and you could say, like, oh, well, this candidate didn't disclose such and such, or this proposition wasn't didn't disclose, like, where the ads were coming or who's paying for the ads, and da da da, and like it just it starts to get into like a really bit like a quagmire.
Yeah, like I said, and like when it comes to propositions, like listen, like why I say, look at who's funding it, and it's like, oh, I know that group, and I like their work. Okay, well that's probably something like, and then it, from there, look into it, see like, okay, well, you know what, I like I like the group that's funding it. I think that the proposition is a good one. I'm gonna vote whatever, they're saying vote yes. I'm gonna vote yes. Okay, and vice or like this group, I know this group they're liars and I don't want anything to do with them. Everything that they say is garbage. They're saying that I should vote no on this. Well, now I'm going to vote yes. And then you look at like the actual proposition or like what they're like, what voting yes would do. Or that's the other thing too. Like when it comes to the actual proposition, they have to, so I think that the way it's supposed to be, like, it's if you voted yes on this proposition, this is what would happen, or this is what is proposed.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the choice of either like saying yes to it or saying no to it. But you know how it is, like I said, it's a pain in the ass because sometimes it's like the language is weird. And if you don't speak, 9 degrees of legalese, it can be, it's like, why? That's the other thing. It should be put in plain language.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure.
Like it's like, if you vote for this is gonna happen.
And they probably justify, oh, we did put it in plain language. Did you watch the advertisement? It's like, no, asshole. Like you
actually, like, oh yeah, like a bunch of, paid actors or interested groups who cut a video for you. Sure, okay.
It's like, no, asshole. You actually have to have like the language so that the general public can understand it. That didn't go to like Yale and Harvard Law School for like 4 years, draft this up. Like, just say like what it's gonna do, how it's gonna affect it, and if you can't put it in common language for everyone to be able to understand and like have it make sense, or if that damages your proposition, well, then that's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I would love to have a law proposed to do that, where it's like you have to put stuff where it's like it doesn't take a law degree to understand.
Right? And call it like something catchy, like the Common like Tongue Act, where like all propositions have to you have to be able to explain it in 3 sentences.
Like what's the elevator pitch? Give me the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator pitch. There you go. Perfect. better. Yeah, it could be the elevator pitch act. It's like, if you like you have to sell me in 30 seconds or 30 words.
Yeah. And it's like, and yeah, like I said, it's nuts. But like I said, I was thinking about that, and I thought like this might be a good, because we have elections coming up in what, 3 weeks now. 2-3 weeks, like November 8th, for California, and it just, if you are concerned of like like how do I deal with all these freaking propositions, and if you're not really sure, you don't have to vote on them.
Yeah.
It's like, if it, let the people who have done the research, make that vote. And honestly, like, trust me, I would prefer that the majority of people don't vote, because you have these people that are like, you ask them, who is the current president? Oh, I don't know. Barack Obama. I don't care about that. I just want Barack Obama back. It's like, oh my God, you're a fucking moron.
Although I think anyone who talks like that wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, I think I've shared this anecdote before, but my friend, she was recounting a story about, this girl who, like, who saw like all of the candidates on, like, the sheet, and she's like, and she literally said out loud, "I wish someone would just tell me who to vote for." So yeah, so those people, like, if giving up my vote, or returning the vote back to just landowners, could keep that person from voting, I would give it up in a second.
in a fucking heartbeat.
In a fucking second.
I mean,
take it away. Take it away from me, as long as it takes it away from her.
Yeah, I'm all for that legislation. It's like, let's no, I don't think everybody should vote or have the ability to vote, because they're too fucking stupid.
Right, and again, like to the girl who told me that story, and like, why I wanted only landowners to be voting. It's like if you don't own anything and all you do is paying rent, what do you care if property taxes go up?
That's part of the reason why. Honestly, that's part of the reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger got voted in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Gray Davis said no new taxes, and he implemented new taxes, and
and then he caused, like, I mean, it was already a growing problem, but like the energy crisis was another huge one. The energy scandal that he created.
Oh yeah,
which
I forget what the company was called.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's just,
dude, I don't know what is it with Dems and energy. Like, what was it? Fucking was it Obama with the whole? No. Sorry, it's not all Democrats, but oh god, what was that? What was that energy company during the Bush years?
Was it the
Enron? There you go, Enron.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I take it back. It's not all Democrats, but it's all politicians.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could make the argument that the second Bush, he was very not quite a rhino, but definitely not like he's just the type of like
he wasn't a patriot Republican.
No, it's just he was more of like, it was just more of the same, like, where it's almost like this. It's like, oh, from Clinton to Bush, was it really that much different? It kind of wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that Bush Jr. was more Jesus, but the differential between Bush and Clinton, it's like that would be the only real distinction.
I'm just talking about policy wise. Like, it's not. It's
that's what I'm saying. It's like their policies were almost identical, but except and the only differentiating thing was, Bush was like a little bit more Jesus.
Yeah, well, like in their life, like I would think that Bush is a little bit of a better person than Bill Clinton, but that, it's like, that's not hard to do.
Right. Yeah, the guy who was accused of rape, who through his charity opened up a rape survivors hospital.
Yeah, his charity that essentially a slush fund.
Yeah, seriously.
Which just happened to go, it happened to go away once they're not politically involved.
I know. Yeah, Haiti was like kind of like teetering, but yeah, like the Clinton Foundation like pushed Haiti over the edge and into like failed state.
They stole that money. That's why they didn't get any. That's why they didn't recover. All that recovery money that went through the Clinton Foundation, there was not one dime that went to actually restoring Haiti after the
No,
earthquake.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly, and yeah, that's why you have That's why you have Haitians outside of I think the headquarters or maybe the former headquarters of the Clinton Foundation's you screwed us over.
Yeah, they have every right to be mad.
I know. Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just something that I was thinking about, and I thought it might help clear up some of the mud when it comes to the propositions.
Right. Yeah, and I mean,
When
yeah, my old default was if it says that it's going to spend money, no. If it says that it's going to create expand the government somehow, no.
oh yeah, no.
Those days are gone. You really have to go through the propositions with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah, because sometimes voting yes is
Is actually saying no, and voting no is actually saying yes.
and they because they expect you to not pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
That is what these people are hoping for. And so that's why I said forget all that. Start with who's funding it. Okay, I know that group. I know the people behind this. They're either pieces of shit or you know what? I kind of agree with their group. Let's now I'm more inclined, okay, let's see what the actual proposition says and if it's something that's going to be good or not. But it helps give you like a little bit more information behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like like I'm with you, like expanding the government. Yeah, I don't want that. They already have way too much power than they should have. Spending more money. Our state is broke. Our country is broke. They keep saying like, no, we're having record numbers, blah blah. It's like, no, we are.
What is it? Kevin Sorbo had a genius tweet. Those of you who don't remember, Kevin Sorbo used to play Hercules on TV. But he had a genius tweet saying,
I think I saw this tweet. Yeah, it's
like if the government can make money, why the hell am I paying taxes?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was listening to an interview with him not that long ago, and it's like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, he was on with Dinesh D'Souza. That's right. So I was listening to an interview with him, and it's like he was talking about that too. It's like, yeah, these people are fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if the government could just make printer go burr, then why are we paying taxes?
There's no need.
There's no need. Just make more money. Yeah, I know you're like, I know you just want to your head wants to pop right now, but
oh, dude. Do I have to go back to the Treaty of Versailles and what that did to Germany? And it's like the Weimar Republic. Hey, let's just print more money. Hey,
yeah, that'll fix it.
They burned it for fuel. They plastered the walls with it.
But for a more recent context, fucking Venezuela, they were buying stuff by the weight of it. They were sprinkling dirt on it to make it weigh more, so they can get more stuff.
Yeah,
right. That's how worthless Venezuelan money is. Just for a modern context.
It's like I know maybe it's an exhausting thing for people to like why don't we just print more money? And I remember I talked to somebody too recently who was it a woman? It was
it's probably a woman.
Our friend, me and my friend, our friend Gay Alex, who's been on the podcast several times. Right. We just looked at this person and was like, yeah, why would printing more money cause inflation and all this? Is like, we're just like,
was it a woman? Tell me it was a woman.
It was.
Okay. See,
it was.
Then it's just a woman. So it's like, you're stupid. You're stupid. I already knew you were stupid, so it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna tell him this tomorrow. He's gonna laugh his ass off.
So yeah, you're a woman. You're stupid. Okay, moving on.
It just it's like, and we were trying to explain it to her, but I don't think it got through. It's like,
Of course it didn't.
there's not okay. So let's say you have money is a limited commodity. Sure, like some places have more than others, but it's a limited commodity, and like and money is based off of wealth that the country has, whatever it might be. Like it used to be the gold standard. Now it's something completely different. It is based off something kind of, but when you just like, oh well, we're saying that this thing is $1, and we'll just print 100 more of those. Well, now that dollar is kind of like worthless. It's not as worth as much. It's only worth like a tenth of what it was. Now that dollar only goes.
You already lost her because you're not talking her language.
I know. It just, like I said, and maybe that's what it was.
You have to put it something like this. Say that okay, Prada puts out a bag, right, and it costs $100 for the sake of this example. All right, China comes out and makes 100 bags and sells them for $10. What does that do to the Prada bag?
Makes it worth less.
There you go. Yeah, you got to put it in because women, they like fancy bags and stupid makeup and fake Kim Kardashian's ass. You got to put it in context that they can understand.
Oh, but yeah, it's just we live in the dumbest fucking timeline.
Agreed.
I want the timeline where Toshiro Mifune was Obi-Wan, where Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was not considered like a shitty movie because it's not.
And Reagan, punches out Gorbachev, and and then everyone makes him Emperor of America.
That could have worked. He didn't do everything right. He didn't do everything right, but most stuff he did was right.
Mm-hmm. Although I would take an immortal Eisenhower.
I was gonna say Calvin Coolidge, but that's.
Ooh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, just for the kind of like awesome warrior kind of president, I'd go with Eisenhower.
Eisenhower was not. I mean, he was at a decent time. Like there wasn't as much that he was outside of there was the Korean War that took place, and there were things that he said that I liked, but there was also a lot of he was trying to be more kind of like the Patton line. It's like that's what happens when you stop being a patriot and start being an ally. There was definitely a lot of that in his presidency.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Calvin Coolidge.
But like I said, I want a Calvin Coolidge president that just like, no, we're not going to expand the government. We're not going to do all this dumb stuff. It stops here. Hell, to be honest, I would take a Truman at this point. The buck stops here. We're not going to do a lot of stuff. We're not going to do all this stuff. We're not going to.
Yeah. We're not. At least Truman left the White House poor.
He was the last president to leave it. He was. I mean, he drove his car home. Back to what was it? Where is he from? Like the Midwest somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. He drove back home and he had nothing. He actually had he had to get permission to open up the Truman Library, the presidential library, which is kind of like where that all got started, is because that was the only way similar to like was it Ulysses S. Grant? He got permission to write his memoirs so that his family would have money after he died from cancer, because he had nothing either.
Right.
It's a lot of
Truman did the same thing. He wrote a book of his memoirs.
Yeah.
As well. So he can make money.
Now, I'm not saying that like our president should be like, kind of like the was it like the guy with like hand, pulling out his pockets with nothing in it. I don't think that that's right. But I don't think that like you should be like a Joe Biden, who's like, he's spent his entire life in government, and all based off his government salary, he shouldn't have the stuff that he has.
Right. Yeah. You shouldn't be enriched by going into public service.
I'm saying like you should be able to make
you could be taken care of. We'll take care of you, but like that's it. Like
like I said, I think that like the guys that we elect, like we're gonna pay for your salary, okay? That's part of it. I understand. We have to pay taxes to help. We are supporting the country. You're kind of like how with our military, we're technically paying for their salaries. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the politicians that we elect. We are paying for your salary, but that doesn't mean that you get to have this grand lifestyle.
Yeah, it's Nancy Pelosi with your fucking what is it? Like $50,000 like freezer with your like $1,000 gelato ice cream and shit.
Or John Fetterman with his 8 houses that like right. By being a bum.
Yeah, well, he's a trust fund baby.
Yeah, but still, that guy has not worked a day in his fucking life.
Yeah.
It's like, good lord. He's I don't know. It's a competition between like who's more lucid, Joe Biden or John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. That has got to be the worst like race. Like, do you want to vote for this stroked out weirdo, or this like rhino like Republican that Trump endorsed? That's like
Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yeah, up until like 5, and he doesn't even live in Pennsylvania. He lives in New Jersey.
Right.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he's pulling Maxine Waters.
Jeez, it's like, what the? You don't even live in that fucking state. How are you running for Senate in that state? You don't live there. Oh, that's
and I mean, and not so long ago, he was defending transition surgery for children.
Yeah, exactly. So it's. And now all of a sudden he's just like, oh, I've changed my mind. Oh, please.
Seriously. Yeah, I mean, Trump, whatever. He really dropped the ball there.
That's what I'm like, why would you endorse this loser? He sucks. There is no reason that anybody should be losing to John Fetterman. Ever.
Right. Who's that? God, I really like that lady. I feel so bad forgetting her name. But she was the
in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, what was her name? I was like, and she was she would have been perfect.
I know Trump really screwed the pooch by not endorsing her.
She would have trounced Fetterman.
Mm-hmm.
But and see that's part of the problem. Like that's where like like I said in the primary, like I don't think I can vote for Trump because it's shit like this. Mm-hmm. I mean, outside of, like his age, the vaccine shit, this stuff like his weird endorsements. Like, why would you endorse this weirdo in Dr. Oz just because like he's a TV personality? Like, he hasn't had it's not like that he's like Trump, like who was actually the most conservative president within our lifetime, I think.
Mm-hmm.
which he wasn't. He kind of switched over to being a conservative, which is fine. And he kind of like realized that like he more or less explained like why he did that. But like Dr. Oz he hasn't had that transition. He's gonna end up being like if he does get elected, he's gonna be more like a Liz Cheney rhino.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote with the Republicans until it's time, like until there's a crucial vote.
Right.
Mitt Romney's the other is him and Mitt Romney are very close as far as like candidates go, because it's like Mitt Romney, like you would think that like he's and he should be like pro life, and it's like he wasn't voting for any of that stuff. In fact, he doesn't even fucking live. He didn't live in Utah up until like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, he was the former governor of Massachusetts.
Yeah, so it's like, and I don't know how he hoodwinked all the people in Utah, but like they should get rid of that guy. He sucks.
Yeah, they only they got hoodwinked because because of his Mormon background, quote unquote.
And he's not really a Mormon either. Yeah. He just kind of it's kind of like if Mitt Romney is a Mormon, like just like Joe Biden's a Catholic, it's just,
right? Yeah. Oh, the candidate was Kathy Barnett.
Yeah, Kathy Barnett. That would if had I lived in Pennsylvania, that's who I'm voting for, because she actually has something to say,
right?
And same thing with if I was in Arizona, I definitely would have voted for the lady what she was running for governor, I think. What the hell is her name?
Oh, Carrie Lake.
Yeah, Carrie Lake. Yeah,
she's still in it.
Yeah, I think she won the primary. I think it's now
it's her versus this Katie Hobbs chick who's an utter disaster.
Carrie Lake deserved it. She's
gonna win. I'm calling it now. She's gonna win.
Yeah,
even with shenanigans, I say she wins.
She knows what she wants. She talks about it very clearly. And I don't think there's anything that she says that is, to me, there's nothing that is like, oh, that's a little weird. No, it's all, like, hey, this is what the people of Arizona want, and this is what I'm going to work on. And that's it. And she communicates that clearly, and she's not.
I mean, kind of good, because of her background. Because she used to be a news anchor, but yeah, she's way better in terms of like communication than Katie Hobbs, who floundered on the simplest layup question in the world, which in a recent like town hall thing, where it's like she asked. Like the presenter asked, like, what have you learned from the Latino community? And she completely flubbed it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like, oh, I don't know if I can say that I learned any specific thing. Even though like my sister-in-law, she's Hispanic or Latino, and then the president like, so you learn nothing from Latino people who make up like 20% of this state. It's like, it's like, it's a lot.
Well,
I mean, I don't even know like if it's actually 20%, but in Arizona, it's a fucking a lot.
Yeah, it's like, what are you an idiot?
Seriously, all you have to do, because all she had to say is
make something up at this point.
Yeah, make something up. It's like, like they're taco bowls,
Like, just call them breakfast tacos, like
right,
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden.
It's the Bogadas and the Cise Podways.
Cise Podway.
The Joe Biden, the Piggy Hill of the first ladies.
Yeah. Overflated sense of her own capabilities, and just completely detached from reality.
God, I was watching a King of the Hill episode the other day. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking Jill Biden. Good
Yeah.
lord.
Although, yeah, it's like it's weird because in one season, like they made her like Spanish suck, but then in another episode they made it like kind of competent.
It was competent like in like the first like season or two, and then they kind of like they
Well, no,
changed.
actually it's reversed because like in the beginning she wasn't competent. That's like, and that's why there was that episode where like she went into Mexico, and and that's when she got arrested for abducting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, it's like, and she wanted, and like, what is it? She wanted to testify, but the lawyer's like, no, 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 don't. But then Hank is like, no, 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 let her, testify in her own words, what happened, and then, her bad Spanish came through and was like, oh yeah, you didn't do this. But then,
Yeah.
but then in later seasons, she got a job as what is it, like customer service for Alamo, and like, particularly for Spanish speakers, and she was able to communicate with the Spanish speakers, and so.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh god, I forgot about that. Like I just remember all like her flubs. Like she was like
Right,
there was
right,
like
yeah. I mean, yeah, she did have a lot of fun, but yeah, that was like a really weird continuity error that I noticed. And it's funny that you bring that up because like it's like stuck in my brain for so long. It's just like that was weird because at first she wasn't that good at Spanish, and then she was, she's good enough to like interact with customers over the phone.
yeah,
And
I
yeah,
thought
like
it was
her accent was still kind of like American Texan, but like she was still able to communicate.
yeah, I thought it was funnier doing it the other way where she's just a complete like, nincompoop, like that didn't know anything.
Right, right,
And
right.
like but obviously like, because Hank loves her, he's just like, yep, it's okay, honey. He just kind of like, because he's the one that's actually like, taking care of everything. And that's why she doesn't have to be like like a full time job. She's just a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
I don't know. I thought that was a better choice, but yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about like she actually does become a competent Spanish speaker.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen in Jill Biden's case, but
No, no, no,
it's
no, no. Yeah, that not with your Cisa Podways and your Bogodas.
in calling them breakfast
Yeah,
tacos.
comparing them to breakfast tacos. Ugh,
Good lord.
good Lord.
Like,
Yeah, I just love all of the fashion stuff because like it's like a couch or like the pattern like of her dress. It's like it's from like an old couch or from old curtains or it's or like a shower curtain. It's just like who the hell
good
is dressing you?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It just, if it wasn't real, it would be hilarious. This is like
Yeah.
on a TV show or like a comedy film.
I
I'd
know,
be
like
like,
it's like if
great.
I was Joe Biden, I'd constantly be wondering if I'm being punked right now.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. Well, I mean, if you don't have anything else to add about the.
I have nothing else to add on that.
Okay, well then, yeah, let's get into the other topic, which kind of, where we left off in that discussion. But recently, audio leaked of Los Angeles City Council President Nuri Martinez talking disparagingly of another with two other council members about a fourth, but like I guess in this case it'll be like a second party who also is a council member, and that council member's adopted black son.
Yeah. And what is it like? These are all Democrats, I assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But although, but by the reporting, you never would have guessed.
They definitely covered that part up.
Yeah, because again, yeah, if it were Republicans, that'd be the first thing. Like Republican, city council members, talk disparagingly of, of other, fellow council members' black son. Yeah.
Yeah. It's dumb. to do something like that. I mean, obviously, but these people are all terrible.
Yes.
It's
And actually, this Nerdy Martinez person, we have a source and that can attest to how awful she is, and
yeah,
that's
she's a horrible person.
yeah, and not even just like kind of like horrible person, but like incompetent. And
Oh,
I
she's a
think
double
she
threat.
was really close. I mean, with like the whole Garcetti thing, maybe becoming ambassador to India thing, up in the air. It was being floated that or speculated that she would be named interim mayor if that were to happen.
Oh God, good God. Well, so we're gonna. I mean, so we're gonna have a Garcetti to India. Okay, first of all, that just blows my mind. I forgot about that.
Right.
And then we're gonna have this incompetent moron. Like who's
Ra-
like at least Garcetti's a moron.
racist, incompetent moron.
Yeah. Oh, she's a triple threat.
Exactly, triple threat.
Jesus. Like, and yeah, like I said, we know people who know this person, and she's dumb. She's a terrible person. She doesn't know anything. She makes the city worse. In fact, most of the people that are on the city council make it worse because it's this dumb, like, weird power. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure the people that are replacing her, they're also just as horrible and incompetent.
Right. Yeah, I do believe they did name a new, I think, interim city council president. Don't hold me to that yet,
I
but
I
yeah.
think I don't know who they replaced her with, or because they replaced did they replace just her, or was it a couple people? They made it sound
No,
like
yeah, she for sure like stepped down from her position. But the other two, who was actually running for mayor, but he didn't make the cut. Um, and then the other council member, he was actually embroiled in a scandal, something to do with like housing developments or like
oh,
affordable housing.
good
Uh,
lord, oh man, that's such a shocker.
yeah, right.
So this is where is that even up for a vote? This is this part of like with the election coming up? Are we voting for a new city council, or is that
I think because this broke so late, they'll probably just stick in some like interim representative until maybe a special election or something happens. At least
okay?
that's
Well,
at least that's what I think would logically happen.
yeah. Well, like it's like we are obviously talking about something that's more local to Andy and myself, but you should keep an eye on the stuff that's going on in your own city or state. Like your city council people are actually very important. Whether you realize it or not. It's not obviously it's not glorified like the president of the United States or senators or
Yeah,
governors.
but arguably this is more important because it's local. It affects us more.
And obviously we live in a shitty city. It's unfortunate to you know we do live in a crappy city,
Hmm.
and I don't know if much can
Figuratively
change.
and literally.
Much is gonna and as much as the news like to cover it up, like you said, it's like, oh, because there are Democrats, they're like, oh, there was a controversy in city council, blah blah blah. It's like, and not really revealing like the party they're from. Like I said, had it been a Republican, oh, that would have been the first thing that was out of their freaking mouth.
Yeah, that'd been the first
Um,
thing in the article. Republican council representative or council
yeah,
member. Yeah, the
but
the new president is someone named Paul Krikorian.
okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
think I do remember hearing that name.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know anything about him, but
I don't know either, but I'm excited to learn.
yeah. But it's I'm sure the people that are replacing all the ones that were taken out, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be that great either. And unfortunately, with like when it comes to SoCal and like Los Angeles, there's really there's no fucking choice in the city, because it like when we look at our ballots, it's there's no there's no it's like, oh, do I want this Democrat or this Democrat? It's kind of like it's they're both shitty choices.
Yeah, I
That's why
mean, yeah, and I mean we live in a state with like a mono party, like literally, and then, like it doesn't even matter that and it doesn't even matter that you're a Republican, because like if you go along and vote with Democrats, you might as well be a Democrat.
yeah,
So
hell, I just started
yeah, they
like
are. Well, they're talking about having a vote, but it's merely to strip them of their committee roles.
well, duh. I mean, that's should happen.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
that's a given. But yeah, nothing about no, at least not that I see of news about like them, announcing that they're stepping down
I'm still, I'm
or
still like mesmerized as like Eric Garcetti as the ambassador of India. Are you why?
well, supposedly, he has like good relationship with with Indians or whatever, or something to that
Really?
effect. Like he has like a really good relationship with like Indian Americans here in the
The
city.
Biden administration is like, yeah, you seem to do okay with Indians. So we'll just give you that ambassadorship.
Yeah, more or less.
Well, I mean, they are known for putting like the dumbest people in like every role.
Yeah,
So,
so not really surprising.
but yeah, I know the story broke. Was it like last week?
Yeah, I think it was like
And
I think it was the week of our birthday, but then after the our birthday stream.
right, yeah. It was, and we unfortunately didn't get to talk about it last week.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, it's still like important because it's still important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hope springs eternal. Maybe that the something will change. I I don't have any hope that, okay, yeah, we're gonna have an election on new city council people, but like it's just they're all gonna be of this. It's gonna be the same ilk. It's not gonna be any different.
Yeah, and I mean even with the mayoral elections, I mean,
I,
do I think Rick Caruso will do a good job? Maybe, but it's like it's for the if you guys didn't know, Rick Caruso was a Republican for the longest time until you know the last like couple of years. When he was like deciding whether or not he was going to run for mayor, and then guess what happened? He changed his affiliation.
but I think in one sense is that I think he knows that
Right,
unfortunately.
but then he kind of but he kind of what is it? He put the cigarette out, on the arm of Republicans by saying like, oh, I no longer align myself with the Republican Party and what they stood for or whatever, and just like you didn't have to do that, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that I'm like, I'm not even a registered Republican. All right, I'm a non-affiliated voter, which in California means I'm an independent. All right,
right.
and I'm not saying that there's a lot of things that I can line up behind the Republican Party, but why would you screw yourself? Yeah, why would you screw yourself out of potential voters by alienating uh, Republicans? Like it literally makes no sense to me. When you like, it's kind of like if if you what is it? Alienated yourself to independence, like like kind of people like me who are non-affiliated, and there's like, oh yeah, not like yeah, non-affiliated voters, they're just the worst, or their values are all wrong. It's like, well, they're you won't be having my vote. And then especially in a state like California where we have a mono party, as I stated before. Why would you dump on potential voters? I mean, and this was in a campaign video that's been airing near round the clock here in California. And so yeah, I mean, I'll probably be voting for him, but I kind of wish that the other candidate, Joe Boschino, I wished he had gotten the nomination, or
Yeah.
he had made it past the primaries at the very least.
Well, I can't vote for Karen Bass because
Oh no, hell no.
There's no fucking way I'm voting for her.
No.
And the one thing that like really like raised my my antenna when it's like when Rick Russo was talking about like, oh, I'm going to use my emergency powers to like help with the homeless
There you
crisis.
go. Yeah, that's another thing.
That's why I was like, no more emergency powers. We're done because
we're done. We're tired of government overreach.
I'm not, yes, I understand. Yeah, we do have a problem with this. It's no doubt about it. But let's work within the system. Let's utilize the powers that use our political power, sure, but let's not overreach.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I know within California, like I don't know, maybe, California needs definitely like Southern California, Los Angeles. We need to like rip everything out from the roots. It's I don't care what party takes over, but we need to like start over. The city's broke, the state is broke, and we need to fix these problems. That's like you start with one problem. Like like I said, if Larry Elder hasn't given up on the state and the city, so I haven't given up on it. When he leaves, I'm out of here.
I know, right? That's like the last warning sign that like shit's about to go down. Is that like when Larry? Because like I don't know if you guys follow Larry Elder on social media, but like he's been doing a lot of campaigning, whatever, for like other people in other states, whatever. But he's still constantly talking about Los Angeles and like
he still lives here.
He still lives here, and at the end of like particularly on Instagram, all his posts he ends with like the hashtag "We have a city to save." So, hope springs eternal. But as long as Larry is still here, then I have some.
Then I'm willing to fight.
Yeah,
then I'm willing to fight. If Larry's fighting, I'm gonna fight. When he leaves, I'm fucking out of here. Exactly. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I will get out of this city. Yeah, I will get out of this.
I don't know how exactly I'm gonna exfil from this god awful place. But
I will drag you with me. wherever I go, like we'll flee to whatever city that Larry Elder is going to. Because
there you go. I know. I know this. Like, cause, you had like your Dave Rubins and your Joe Rogans all like pull up stakes or whatever. And it's like whatever, okay, fine. Even and Ben Shapiro, who grew up out here, right? Who grew up out here?
Yeah.
But
they moved the Daily Wire from Los Angeles over to Nashville, and then Shapiro's over in Florida. Mm-hmm. Same with Dave Rubin.
Right.
And then Joe Rogan and
Austin, of course.
Yeah, Elon Musk went to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So
fine, good on them. But Larry Elder, he stayed.
he's sticking it out.
Sticking out.
And honestly, like, it's hard because all my friends are here, all my family's here, all the family that I care about is here. the
Yeah, same.
And it's like, my whole life has been here. I don't want to leave Los Angeles. I do, at a fundamental level, I do love Los Angeles. I love being here. I
Mm-hmm.
love the city. I know it can be a good city. It has been a good city,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's just. But we keep voting in like, well, I don't know if it's all on the up and up because I don't think it is. But it just seems like people just keep, oh yeah, well, they've been in this position forever, so they must know what they're doing. Yeah, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not. Like, do you look at like around you and see like, you know you know maybe we can have a change. Why don't we just vote for somebody different? Let's vote for a different party. Maybe they have a different viewpoint. Maybe we can improve the city. Hell, even if things are going well, and like someone has like a better idea, let's vote for that guy. He has a better idea.
Yeah,
Let's stop voting.
even yeah. I mean, I'm not even saying that it'll work, but if it's a better idea, you know, like we don't know if you'll be able to execute, but if the idea seems good, why not try it? It's like hitting yourself hitting yourself in the forehead with a hammer. Be like, how am I supposed to, how am I gonna stop this? And as you constantly hit yourself in the forehead with a hammer, and then someone goes like, why don't you just put the hammer down? And then as you're hitting yourself, like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah,
It's just like,
I don't know how this pain's gonna stop, but like it's not gonna be
yeah, like
happening.
no. It's like putting the hammer down is not gonna stop the pain of this hammer hitting me in the forehead.
It's just like, let's just try something different. Let's just try it.
Yeah, one time. That's all I'm asking for. One time.
Give it a couple tries.
And actually honestly give it a the old college try, and not just like try to sabotage.
Exactly.
Which I mean, which happened in the last 4 years of the last guy. Because like for whatever you think, but like even with like all of the obstruction, Trump did a lot of things. Like not everything that I wanted, or not everything that I think should have gone through, but
Because of him, we have the biggest dent in the abortion industry that we ever had.
exactly.
Uh, that I never thought would ever happen in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
almost kind of sort of had peace in the Middle East.
Right. Yeah, we were the closest we ever were to peace in the Middle East.
Half credit to Obama for turning all of the Middle East against Iran.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. We're not petty people. We give props where props are due. Even to old butt boy Barry.
Bathhouse Barry
Yeah, Bathhouse Barry.
and Michael.
Yeah, Michael Robinson. What else? Yeah, and and we were energy independent. Gas was like going down. And I mean, and like, yeah, and again, credit where credit's due. But yeah, like I remember, there was a time in high school. I think it was after 9/11 or whatever. But gas went down to ridiculous amount. I'm talking like it was getting to like 80s prices. Like it was getting to like 72 cents a gallon. I remember this distinctly because I remember I was
Yeah.
like, so I was driving during that time, and I was, and I was filling up my parents' tank for them, because I would use their car. So I did the the decent thing and refilled their car for them. And yeah, it was like getting to 72 cents. Like it was in the wintertime. I remember this specifically. It was like chilly. There was fog in the air, and I remember like the gas prices were going down like a stone in water.
Yeah.
And what I later found out, the reason why is because George Bush opened up federal drilling, or drilling on federal lands.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and like I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah, credit where credit's due. You know, and under George Bush, we had we're nearing 69 cents a gallon for gas, regular.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been and at a time when gas is almost like $7 here in California. Wouldn't it be nice if we could even get it back to like $2 a gallon?
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things like we don't need to rely on Russia,
Yeah.
Venezuela,
Oh yeah, and what is it? Biden
the
again
middle.
is going to be no. Biden again is going to be siphoning off from the strategic reserve because he wasn't able to get the deal from OPEC.
Yeah, and that's why the prices went down recently. But it's like that is not what we're supposed to be using. We can just use the resources that we have here at home. Like just just get the fuck out of the way and open stuff back up and you're everything's going to be hunky dory. We don't need to worry about the stupid war in Russia. But the reason why that happened too is I think that the Biden for sure is he has ties to Ukraine,
Oh yeah,
obviously. So
obviously.
that's why he's funding them. That's why like all of a sudden Ukraine is like Zelensky is Winston Churchill. He's super awesome, despite the
Yeah, it's
fact
like,
that
oh, I don't need a right. I need ammo.
yeah, he wasn't like super corrupt like super corrupt like 3-4 years ago, and now he's Winston Churchill. He's the goodest guy ever.
Yeah,
And Putin's bad, and it's like yeah, guess what? They're both bad. Russia sucks. It's a
yeah.
shithole.
They're both assholes.
Ukraine
All
sucks.
right, they're both assholes.
Yeah, Ukraine sucks. Fuck those countries. I don't
Yeah.
care about them.
Yeah, and we fucked it up. America fucked it up. We in 2014 we fucking staged a coup and we got legitimate government out of there and we installed Zelensky.
Yeah, and he's not that great. Okay, he's not like the great guy, and he's just like, oh, you Americans, you blah blah blah, you need to do better for us, and it's like,
Oh
you
yeah,
here you go,
he had that
$1 million.
Sam Wilson moment. You know, it's like you have to do better, Senator.
Yeah, it's like what am I watching here?
I know. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Okay, Captain Ukraine, like I guess we better do it. And the other thing, this is the other thing too, where you have these Republican senators and stuff that are like, yeah, let's give them the money. It's like, no, and
Oh, stop
all
it.
all those people need to be voted out of office. I'm sorry. I think like the one guy that's like, nah, I'm not gonna vote yes on this. It was Rand Paul. It's
Rand
like
Paul and what is it? Who's that other guy that I like? Uh, I mean, he's not Tim something.
Tim Scott.
No, not Tim Scott. He kind of looks like a nerd. Thomas Massey. There you go, Thomas Massey.
Oh yeah.
He was the one that said like, no, let's not shut down. And Trump wanted him kicked out of the Republican Party for saying that.
Yeah, and he was right.
Yeah. He's like, don't shut down. Don't send uh, millions of monopoly money out to people. Just don't shut down. And Trump said like, oh, get that he's an idiot. Get this guy out of the Republican Party. It's like, for being right.
Yeah, it's like those are the type of people you need to be voting for.
Yeah.
Why are we giving money to the honestly and the fact
Paul,
that
Paul Massey 2024. I'm making it. I'm trying to will it so. Paul Massey 2024.
that would be great. The I hate all the money that we just keep sending to these countries that
hate
and
us.
well, and even like all this stuff, like there was an investigation that was going on. It's like where all this money was being sent over to Ukraine. Like where's all like the weapons and stuff? It's like I don't know. Like they just went. They didn't like have any track of anything.
Right, yeah,
The
there was no
money
receipts. There were no
forever.
receipts.
There's no receipts. There's nothing.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting that they want to send the Ukrainians weapons and arm them up, and it's like, well, what about their tanks? It's like, oh no, it was better than nothing. It's like the exact argument we've been making here about why we should have guns. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, and not 3-4 years ago. It's bad that Trump called the Ukrainian president. It's like, I think you really should look into the Biden family.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, but now they're the good guys. We're gonna send all our money and our support behind them. And if you don't have the Ukraine flag on your Twitter profile, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
It really is. It really is.
Like I said, we live in the dumbest timeline, Andy.
We do. For sure we do. For sure we do.
But like I said, look at your city. How you fix shit like this? You start at city council. You vote dumbasses like what we have here in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
You
Nuri
vote
Martinez, Kevin De Leon, Gil Cedillo, Mike Bonin too. I mean, I know he was he was getting a lot of sympathy points because it was him. They were talking about him and his adopted black kid, whatever. But he sucks too. He turned fucking the like Venice and the West Side into Bumville.
God, so bad over there.
Seriously.
Like it's always been bad, but it's really bad now.
Yeah, I mean, they're like that lady that was run over by like the Prius. Like that was in his district.
Yeah, yeah, it's so bad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we don't mean to laugh, but it's just like, it's just like, it's like on video, and this person like, he didn't just like all of a sudden like swerve to like miss a kitten and like hit this woman. He aimed the car at that woman who was pushing a stroller with a kid in it, and like knocked her and like she did like the coin flip.
Yeah.
And that was in Mike Bonin's district. Mike Bonin, the one who got all the sympathy points because because it was those three making fun of that guy.
Well, and yeah, he probably should have been made fun of, but like he's horrible
except
too.
He should only been made fun of for being such a shit representative.
He sucks.
He sucks.
And the people that like he represents should tell him to his face that he sucks. Him and his black son.
Yeah. See, doesn't it feel good not to care? Just let it out. Just let it out, Robert. Just let it out.
Because I hate these people. They suck. They're terrible representatives, and yet they keep getting voted in somehow. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
I don't get it either. That's why, that's why I would never be elected because I'd be too effective. Plus, because people have like approached me about running or whatever, but like I'm unelectable. Just for this podcast alone, I am unelectable.
Yeah, it's just like.
All right, and also I'm a cripple, and a cripple should not be in a position of leadership. That's just my own personal opinion. It's in the Bible.
Yeah, first of all, I have the wrong skin color, and number two, even if I did get voted in, I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth. I couldn't hold my tongue that much. It's like,
yeah, seriously, I'd call them all out. Yeah, I like, hey, Bonin, you homo. What are you doing to Venice? Taking too many dicks up the ass?
Yeah, yeah. But it just are you gonna fix your city because it sucks?
Yeah, it sucks more than you on a gay pride at Rage.
Oh God. God.
Again, see, unelectable, unelectable.
Yeah, I'm probably unelectable too. Oh my
Oh
God.
man.
I'm not
For
saying
those of you unaware, Rage is a notoriously gay club in West Hollywood. Land of the homos.
good Lord.
which a lot of shady shit goes down.
Dude.
I never seen or experienced it firsthand, but like I've heard stories.
Just like Roman Holiday.
Oh yeah.
I do live by a notorious gay bathhouse.
Yes. But that offers free STD checks.
I thought for sure that that was a strip club until like we it was like
No, yeah, see, because that's how you know that it's gay because they don't advertise. If it was a strip club, neon lights, neon lights and like pictures of like
it is as
of
non
porn stars on the building.
yeah, it is as nondescript as you can get.
Exactly. That's how you know it's for gay dudes.
The windows are covered up.
Yeah,
There's
there's
no
no windows on the face of it. There's like no windows.
like even like the Roman Holiday. It's just like it's almost as close to the building color as you can get. So it's muted.
Right. Yeah, and like the font is so nondescript. It's like Times New Roman.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. It's just like it's so nondescript.
No, because I remember James was like, it's like, you think that's a strip club? I don't think so. And he was like, let's look that up because I think you're wrong. Because I was
Yeah, oh
like,
yeah, yeah. I was there. I was there.
yeah, I was surprised at like, I was like, there are so many strip clubs by where I live. I'm just like, it's like, I could go like, a square mile and I hit like 5 of them. Like, and I was like naming them. And it's like, you think that's a strip club? Like, I don't think so. Let's take a
No,
look at
no,
this
yeah.
one.
Again,
And
yeah, exactly. Like
just like,
the building is nondescript. There's no neon lights. There are no pictures of there's no like giant signs, pictures of porn stars on it. Not a strip club.
and we looked it up, and sure enough, it was a gay bathhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of shady shit that goes down there too, like which was like, whoa, good
Yeah, I
lord.
mean, which is yeah, it's like it's sad because like the sodomites they're spreading out, they're now even uh, they even took over a Wii Spa in LA. I mean, we had that kerfuffle like just like last year,
Yeah.
but yeah, like it's become like a gay hookup.
While
I've heard like stories of guys just like in like this like the saunas or whatever, just like pounding each other and we're sucking each other off.
yeah, I mean, it's like that's exact. Don't they? I heard like from what we read, like I think they take your cell phones too.
At Wii Spa?
No, no, not at We Spot, at Roman Holiday.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I'm that is the probably a lot of monkeypox going on down there.
Oh yeah, yeah, Monkeypox Central.
It's like we all
Again,
know that it's a gay
yeah,
it's a
it's a
gay
gay
thing. I'm
disease.
sorry.
Yeah, it's a gay disease. I'm saying it. It's a gay disease.
Just
Yeah, it's so funny because I was with like I was with some people who like who aren't PC, but they're not as PC as I am. And so like
yeah.
the subject of monkeypox came out, and I just like straight up said like yeah those dirty homos, and they all kind of like even though like they agreed with me, they all kind of like kind of like gasped. And I was like what did I say that was wrong?
Dude, like seriously, like we make fun of that shit at work. It's like, yeah, they're fucking. It's only gay people that are getting it, dude. Like it's just
Yeah,
it's okay
and I'm worried about like the so-called two juvenile cases. Like how did they get it?
because they got raped or fucked
That's
or
what I'm
something.
saying.
There was a dog that got it, and it's because it's like they're fucking dogs too. It's like it's a what?
Oh
What is?
no, it's because the gay guy, he lets the dog sleep in his bed, and it's all very innocent. It's like that dog is getting pounded in the ass.
That dog, there was some bestiality going on.
That's what I'm saying.
And those kids got fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
Yeah, no, I didn't necessarily want to go and name it and claim it, but yeah, that's
Just rip off the band-aid, Andy.
yeah, just rip off the band. I don't. Yeah, why am I being such a pussy about this? But I'll call I'll say dirty homos about about gays.
But yeah, that's all I got to say now. The city council.
Yeah. Yeah, we were gonna talk about the Kanye thing, but
we can move that to next week.
Yeah, we'll move it to next week because I definitely want you to get I want you to get more caught up on the story.
Yeah, I don't know as much about that story. I'm gonna get caught up on the whole Kanye thing, so
yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, but it is interesting, and and we will be talking about it. But that'll be for next week. Until then, we will just have to go on to the last item on our agenda, and that is the movie review. And to remind everyone that this month's theme is schl-october. This is my gift to Robert for our birthdays.
Why did I choose Cop Out? Good Lord.
Yeah, but although I'm very happy that he picked this movie, which he despises. I don't know if he despises this on the level that I despise Last Jedi, but
it's close.
It's close. All right, so yeah, we'll get into the movie review and we'll wrap up tonight. Let me first hit you all with the synopsis and we'll get going. Yes, veteran detective Jimmy Monroe needs money to pay for his daughter's upcoming wedding, so he decides it's time to sell his prized '52 Pathco baseball card. Before he can turn it into cash, it's stolen, and Jimmy and his partner Paul confront a gangster who is obsessed with sports memorabilia. First, Jimmy and Paul have to rescue a beautiful murder witness who has the key to a fortune in offshore bank accounts. Yes, Cop Out was released in 2010, directed by Kevin Smith, and starring Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan.
Okay. Well, why don't we start? What did you think of the movie, Andy? If you liked it, that's fine. I'm not getting mad. I'm just like, what did you think about it?
I slightly enjoyed it.
Okay, that's fine.
I enjoyed it.
Did you slightly enjoy the fact that you knew that it was torturing me?
I did realize this. That this would cause you some. I know this would cause you some distress.
Okay, so you enjoyed it. What did you enjoy about it? What made it fun for you?
Just the relationship between the two characters, Paul and Jimmy.
No,
I didn't think it was that bad, although very very thin, but somewhat believable, not entirely.
That's Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, we both like Bruce Willis. I like Tracy Morgan. I think he's a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like his stand up. I think he was great on 30 Rock. He's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sean William Scott. I think he has his moments of I really, what was it? Was it Walking Tall? that he was in with The Rock, the remake of Walking Tall? Was that him?
No, The Rundown.
The Rundown, yeah. That's a good movie. I like
That
The
is a
Rundown.
good movie.
And
A lot,
he's
of,
good.
lot of people sleep on that movie, but I like it.
Yeah, and Sean William Scott's good in it. He's great.
Mhm.
So as I said, I know the guy can act. He's way underutilized in this film. They make
Yeah, he was too spastic.
he was too spastic, and like his character is unnecessary in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the whole like chasing him down was definitely just a wild goose chase. Like it
Like
didn't really like if you took that out of the movie, like it wouldn't be missed.
right, and in the end, like when they did end up utilizing him, oh, all of a sudden he's out of the game. It's like what the
Right?
and like
Yeah.
it's like they now in the direct, I think in like the director's cut or the special edition or whatever, God forbid that they have of this movie, he actually does survive. He's
Yeah,
not dead.
I saw. Yeah, then I watched the director's cut
Yeah,
or
I
the
didn't see
special
that.
edition.
I
'Cause
saw
yeah,
that. Yeah,
like
but it's like I know it's like he lives. It's like,
yeah,
but who the fuck cares?
right. But also like who like can survive like getting hit in the head on like on a cinder block and then like
From like
be pronounced dead and then come back and it's like oh like big goof like oh just kidding.
yeah, it's just like it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Now, but the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan does not work in this film. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I know that based off the interviews I've watched, the what was the idea behind it. This was not like a buddy cop or like an action comedy. This is supposed to be more like what Bruce Willis was talking about. This is supposed to be more of like a screwball comedy. So more like a Hudson Hawk, if you will. That was what he said. I don't believe
Right.
him.
Mhm.
Um, because I think now Kevin Smith did not write this. To
No.
his credit, he did not write this film. He
Mhm.
was just a director. Um, and they, I think what they were hoping for in this film is like something like akin to like The Last Boy Scout,
Right.
or which is you have Bruce Willis as, although he is funny, he's the straight man.
Yeah.
And then you have like more of like the comedic actor
Mhm.
in when Last Boy Scout was Damon Wayans. Yeah, it was Damon Wayans, not
Yeah,
Marlon Wayans.
Damon Wayans. Yeah.
Sometimes I mix them up.
Well, there are a lot of Wayans.
There's a lot of Wayans. There's a lot of Wayans.
There are a lot of Wayans out there. Just saying.
But no, so it was, but that worked because while the comedy was a little subdued, like where like there were moments of seriousness from the comedy guy and moments of comedy from the serious guy, and it kind of mixed very well in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And you cared about the characters. You also had this in Sunset, like where Bruce Willis is kind of like it's a serious movie, but it's winking at you at the same time, and
Right.
it's not serious,
Mhm.
and so it's funny.
Right.
This movie is you have. I don't know if it's like I don't think that Bruce Willis lost a step, but I think the writing is horrible. I don't and like I don't like I said, Bruce Willis is doing his best, and I'm sure Tracy Morgan, because he doesn't have. I don't think he had a lot of direction. I think that they were just like, yeah, just be as ridiculous as you want to be. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
he went with that, and it's like, but that doesn't work either because I think that had they reined back in Morgan's performance and told Bruce Willis to like, hey, be more like what you were on like The Last Boy Scout or Sunset, like kind of do more of that.
Yeah. More
That
straight.
would have
More
made the
straight.
film, yeah, and you could have eliminated the whole Sean William Scott like thing. You could have made it like something else, like where I like I said, I like the premise is fine. Like where he's trying to pay for his daughter's wedding, all that stuff. he has like the one thing that he can sell that is of value to fuck over the Jason Lee's
The new
character.
husband.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, we did a review on Smokey and the Bandit. That premise is kind of ridiculous too, but it's fun. We don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with the premise, but I was just so everyone, all the actors are underutilized or like are unnecessary. The writing is horrible, and on top of that, you have a director who I do like his work. We've talked about Clerks. I think it's one of the greatest comedies ever written. And I do like his other movies. This movie, he is, I think, a big fucking crybaby. He's definitely become a big crybaby. I
Oh
think he's
yeah.
a liar.
Without a doubt.
I think he's a liar in a lot of ways. I know
Mm-hmm.
because I know Bruce Willis has been known to be difficult to work with. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Bruce Willis has ever changed because we did talk about this with Sunset. Like, James Garner did not like Bruce Willis. He thought he was taking things too. He wasn't taking things seriously.
Yeah. There's
But it's
what was it? Like I think it was more like a lack of professionalism.
yeah, lack of professionalism. But I don't think Bruce Willis changed a bit. I think he was the same as he was in Sunset as he was in this film, and I think that where things changed is that Bruce Willis has not changed, and then you have a guy like Kevin Smith who has been known. I think one of the big things that pissed off Bruce Willis is that he felt that Kevin Smith, what he was, smoking way too much weed. Not actually. I don't think that he gave a shit about this film because it shows that he didn't give a crap about this film,
Right.
and also because he didn't write it either. Kevin Smith didn't write this film, so it's not like he was.
Right. Yeah.
I don't,
Because usually you can tell when Kevin Smith gives a shit because he's written the movie.
yeah, he's invested in it at that
Yeah.
point. This is something I don't think that he cared about this film, and it's like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna smoke weed. And thank God I have Tracy Morgan around because I had to deal with Bruce Willis's bullshit, and I think he told a bunch of lies about Bruce Willis. I don't think that Bruce Willis hates the fans. He talked about this story. Well, he wrote a book, and he had a whole chapter on Bruce Willis, badmouthed him, and then at Comic Con, around that time, a fan asked him, "It's like, you talked about, like, are there any other stories about Bruce Willis that you can share that you didn't share in your book that you weren't able to?" And then he told this story about how, that allegedly happened, which I don't think it ever happened, and how he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Bruce Willis. I love Die Hard," and that while they were uh, filming this, some fan, like, they were just like, they went out, they were trying to go out to get lunch, and somebody drove by or like was stopped at the light. They saw Bruce Willis, like, "Oh man, that's Die Hard, man. I fucking love that movie. You're awesome." And then like Bruce Willis turned to him and says, like, "Those are the people I hate the most." I don't think that fucking ever happened.
Yeah. That's. I could confidently say didn't happen.
I'm not saying that Bruce Willis is not a hard guy to work with. I'm sure, like, he in the beginning he was like, the class, the golden age Hollywood guys probably thought that he was too unprofessional, and I think the new guys thought that he was too much of a curmudgeon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure but I don't think he ever changed. But
Right.
I don't think for one second that he hated the fans, that made him famous. Die Hard made him a famous guy, and he made five of
Yeah,
those.
because up until that time, he was more known for comedies. Like
Yeah,
he did like Look Who's Talking. He did, um, yeah, he was like, yeah, he did a TV show. I forget what it's called, But yeah, he was like a really like low tier celebrity. Like I wouldn't even say like he was a D-lister.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't
Die Hard is the movie that made him. So why would he like
and
why would he have antipathy? Why would he have antipathy to the fans who love that movie that made him a household name?
And when we did Die Hard with a Vengeance, I watched the interviews that he did, and he was like, "Yeah, he was excited about that movie. He was like, I love working with Sam Jackson. Like we play off each other so well. It's like John McTiernan is like he really is like taking us in the right direction. It's a lot of fun, and I think and to be honest, like all of the Justin Long doesn't really talk bad about him, from like his time with, obviously they
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Hmm.
I know the last Die Hard movie was not like the best. It's okay, but he made 5 of these movies.
Hmm.
If he really like hated the franchise that much, uh, and he hated the people that made him, like the fans that love those movies, I don't. He would have done something else.
Yeah, just something doesn't compute here.
And like I said, I like, and unfortunately, like the only thing the only stuff that's really out there is what Kevin Smith says, and I don't believe him.
Yeah, I mean, well, what we come to know, this is the man who said, he wasn't a He-Man fan, and then when presented with the opportunity to, you know, write a He-Man series, he's like, oh man, I'm all about He-Man. So, there's that.
Yeah, like I said, and like I said, I still respect the guy because although I haven't seen Mallrats, but I love Clerks. I think Chasing Amy is really funny, and I'm pretty sure Mallrats is going to be pretty funny. Although I haven't watched it yet,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done
Yeah, I
good
remember
stuff.
watching it, but yeah, it was such a long time ago. I don't remember. Although, yeah, it's a slept on movie, but I enjoy Jersey Girl.
I haven't seen that, but I've
Yeah,
heard
I
good
mean,
things.
yeah, it's not like his usual comedy thing. It's a little bit more heartwarming, but I liked it fine.
But yeah, so if so the idea of schl-october, like what I was wanting to do with this is to take a movie that because I really hate this movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there are some redeeming qualities about it because, like I said, okay, it has like a kind of ridiculous premise that doesn't bother me. The story itself, or like the premise, uh, I'm all for it. Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Willis, I think he does a fine job. He's fine. They got to reel in Tracy Morgan because he's way too ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like it's way too much. This is where like you either have to rein Tracy Morgan in because there are moments where he does kind of do that. Um, but like this is where like I would put someone like a Damon Wayans back in, like bring him back in from like the bring back the last Boy Scout crew together. Um,
Didn't he not like working with Bruce Willis?
that's oh, you know what? That's right. So that's right. That's not gonna happen either.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
So yeah,
Um,
it would have to be somebody like
yeah, because I think like don't like my
or
problem with
Eddie
Tracy
Murphy. Bring in Eddie
Morgan.
Murphy.
Maybe I mean that could work, but like yeah, my problem with Tracy Morgan's performance it seemed like Tracy Morgan pretending to be a cop.
I didn't buy that for a
Yeah, yeah, I
second.
didn't. So yeah, so that part took me out of
Um, like I said, I think that Morgan should have been played by his character should have been played by somebody else. Not because Tracy Morgan is bad. Like he's a great comedian.
it.
Just this didn't work. I'm sorry, it just did not work with him.
No.
That's what I said. Like you have to reel that guy in. You can't just let him just do
Right.
whatever the.
You have to put up the guardrails, and you have to let him know it's like don't go beyond these guardrails.
Um, the whole, Sean William Scott being in it, that could have been axed. Like
Yeah,
that just
agreed.
make it the like the one of like the Mexican crew that like ended up robbing this place for something that they were doing, part of that, like just kind of like tighten it a
Yeah, oh
little,
yeah,
the
that's
story.
actually, yeah. It could have been like, um, to
I
tighten it
mean,
up. It could have been like, the cart, like the Mexican like boss. He could have sent like, some of his guys to go hit up that memorabilia place because he's a big collector.
well, that, or like he's kind of like the boss of that neighborhood, and he just like, oh, that guy couldn't pay his protection money, and
Mm,
you do it that way, and you
okay,
kind
yeah,
of,
that.
because you eliminate Sean William Scott as a character altogether because
Mhm,
he's underutilized. Why is he even there?
right.
Doesn't make sense. Um, and so it's just, you just kind of, you cut the story a little bit, and you make it a little bit tighter.
Mm.
So
I think if that's the case, I think they could also have done away with the girl. Um, what is it?
Tracy
I forget
Morgan's
who.
wife.
Huh?
Tracy Morgan's wife.
No, 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 no.
Oh, the girl. Yeah, that didn't make any sense either.
Yeah, or at least like she was unnecessary because you could have just made it just the what is it? Kind of like how they did in Fast and Furious. Like it was the information that was stored on the hard drive in the car, and that's why he needed the car.
Yeah, bingo. See, it's just like, that's another thing that they could have done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, there's a lot of unnecessary stuff. Maybe throw in like, replace a few of like the performers. Kind of work. Like I said, tweak the story, do that. I think this movie would have been serviceable at that point. But
Yeah.
as it
But
is,
now that you think, but now that you think about it, I would have taken out like the whole like in like infidelity, insecurity thing out of Tracy Morgan's character.
that was also something I would have taken out too. And then you make it more about, like, you could almost, at that point, you, like you said, you make it more like a Last Boy Scout, or a Die Hard with a Vengeance, and it's more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's something that, like, I think that maybe, is it going to be like the greatest movie of all time? No, but is it going to be something that like people will
Will
remember?
it be fun? Yeah.
Yeah, will it be fun and people fondly remember? Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember this film because I didn't watch this in theaters. I did end up watching this for free somewhere, and even then I was like, "Fuck this!
Mm-hmm.
It sucks." I was so mad, and it has stuck with me for 10 years. Well, now 12 years, and I watched it again for this, and I still hate it just as much. And it bothers me because it has the elements of a good film, and it's not. That's the thing that pisses me off the most. Is like, you're almost there, but you decided to like do all sorts of goofy shit that doesn't make
Yeah,
it.
and half-acid, half-acid.
Because in the interview with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis talking about the film, they're talking about it being, first of all, the chemistry between them, just like you can see, like there's something weird going on between those two. But then they talk about it being a screwball comedy. It's like, well, then no, it's, Hudson Hawk did that much more better. Like that, that's more of a screwball comedy.
Yeah, or I think kind of it came out around the same time, but that movie with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, the other
Yeah,
guys.
that's so much better. That's a much better movie than this.
Yeah,
I would watch that 20 times over.
yeah. I mean, like if you're gonna go screwball, go screwball.
Yeah,
Because
don't.
like they brought in like too many like series elements too, where it's like, Jimmy and Paul are on the lam, and like that the secondary detectives, are like trying to piece together the thing too, and they And like, what is like one of the murders implicates Paul because they used his gun.
Yeah, it's like why are we putting this in here? If this is a comedy, and it's not like it's not a movie with like comedy elements to it. You're saying that this is a full on comedy, like
Right,
we're
yeah.
not taking anything seriously. Like, why is this even in here?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
stupid.
Stupid.
This is why I hate this film so much.
Right, because
really,
the potential was there.
Yeah,
And it was squandered.
This is a potential for like a 3.5 stars. It is, but the product that we get it's insulting. But to be honest though, Andy, I'm actually like I'm a little happy. Like I'm glad that you found enjoyment out of it though. Like that's if you enjoyed it, I'm not crapping on like whatever your rating's gonna be, because like hey, if you enjoyed it, that's great. I'm glad, and if there are people out there that enjoyed this film, that's great. I'm really happy. Like
right, and I think I want to change up one of the words. Like I didn't necessarily enjoy the movie, but I was entertained.
Were you not entertained?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to fix at least that part of the record. I don't want to say I enjoyed it, but I was entertained.
Well, I'm glad you were entertained, Andy. I was not entertained.
Okay. Fair enough. Anything else you want to add, or?
No, I don't have anything else to add about like Cop Out. It's so I guess apparently the naming of the film, I was like, it's kind of an odd name.
Yeah.
Apparently it was supposed to be there was like a different title that was supposed to be, but like because of something like that the production company, like they couldn't do it, so they're like, oh, we're just gonna like cop out and do something else. So that's how the title came out. It's like they're copping out of actually creating a real title for the movie.
Was it? Yeah, it's kind of like that '70s show. You know, they were originally gonna call it Teenage Wasteland. You know, from the famous Who song. But during something like focus groups, and they just like the subjects in the focus group kept referring to it as that '70s show.
Well, it wasn't anything as clever as that. Like
right.
like you said, because this is just more of like, oh well, we're not gonna come up with the title. We're just gonna cop out. Oh, there's the title of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, see, at least there, like the fans that were like, they were like kind of like, oh, I don't, what the hell was the title of that, that the '70s show, and everyone did that. It's like, well, fuck, why don't we just call it that? See, at least there's some ownership to it.
Right.
There's no ownership to this freaking title.
Fair point. Fair point.
Another, I hate this film.
All right. Well, all right. Let's put you out of your misery and let's give our ratings and we'll call it a night.
I'm giving this a half star because
I don't know. I think we should at least give. I think we should. I don't know. Okay, fine. Half star for you. Half star for you.
No, I'll give it 1 star. One, it has Bruce Willis in it, who does a competent job. He does the best he can do with what he's given. It has the bones of being a good movie, but the flesh is rotten and gross.
They're basically saying it's a really strong zombie.
Yeah, it's a very strong 1 star.
1 star. Okay. I'm just I'm gonna come in just above you, but not as not crazy, and I'm gonna give this a 2.
Yeah, right. Andy, I'm very happy that you were entertained.
Yes, I was entertained. I didn't say enjoy is too strong a word because because to your points, like I agree. It's like there's bones for a great, like cop movie in it, and maybe if they and again if they decided to pick a lane and either do like full on screwball comedy or serious yet comedic buddy cop movie, then it might have succeeded. But they did like the Reese's tactic, but it just didn't work out.
It did not work.
Yeah. So yeah, for those reasons, yeah, I give it a 2.
But yeah, okay. I'm
All right,
a 1. You're a 2.
All right, there you go. There you have it, folks. That's our review of Cop Out. Again, Robert gives it a 1. I give it a 2. Robert I would safely say he would not recommend this movie to anybody.
I will be glad to never ever watch this film ever again.
I should torture you and like make it my birthday request every year that we watch Cop Out together.
No, I'll do it. That's how loyal I am to you, dude.
I know. That's why I would. That's why I would request it. Because just for the sheer amount of like crap you've made me watch, like this would be a semblance of justice.
As long as we get to watch Santa Claus versus the Devil or something like along those lines, I'd be down.
No, of course not. Of course not. That's not how it works.
You haven't seen Santa Claus versus the Devil yet. It's great.
I don't care. I don't care. All right, I watched your Birdemic. I watched your Wizzo the Clowns. All right. I have to draw a line somewhere.
You laughed during Birdemic.
Because it was so awful. All right, not that because it was good.
It wasn't pretending to be good.
You can make the same argument that for Cop Out. It wasn't pretending to be good.
They were trying. I'm sorry. They were trying.
Debatable. All right, folks. That brings us to the end of the stream. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. I know Rob had a good time, except for maybe this last portion.
I will say I enjoyed our conversation about Cop Out way more than I enjoyed the movie.
Fair enough. Don't forget to check out the library of other content that we have. The Circular Jerks main podcast, episodes of Nocturnal Transmissions, of course, and Rob's gaming show, Up by Uptown. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts, Twitter at Letterboxd at PodcastCOJ, and Instagram at Circle of Jerks Podcast. And with all that said, we thank you for joining us tonight. Come back next week, and we'll do it all over again. Have a good night.